When I made the decision to get off Paxil and Xanax years ago, I did it because I was looking for a better life. And maybe that's what you're looking for in your situation right now too. And I believe it's out there. That's what I'm going to talk about in today's video. Stay tuned. I hope you'll enjoy it. Hello there everyone, and welcome back to The Lovely Grind. My name is Michael Preby and my website is lovelygrind.com. That's where you're going to find information about my coaching options, and that's also where you can find the option to sign up for my free monthly newsletter, and you'll get all my blog posts if you sign up for my free mailing list as well. Blog posts about health, healing, fulfillment, and happiness. So I hope you'll check out lovelygrind.com. I thank you for returning to this YouTube channel, another one of my videos. And on this channel, I make videos obviously about prescription drugs, the process of getting off those drugs, how to continue to stay motivated through that process. But I also talk about matters of spiritual life, professional fulfillment, and general health and wellness. In short, I talk about the prospect and the process of finding a better life. Finding a life that suits you individually and brings you joy and fulfillment on a regular basis. And that's what the topic of today's video comes down to, a mix of those things, but they all add up to finding a better life and shooting to find a better life. And ultimately, that's what the process of getting off prescription medications for me was about. I wanted to find a better way of living. And that's what I hear from a lot of people I coach too. They're tired. They've been chewed up and spit out by the system one too many times, put on drugs, ripped off of drugs, given thoughtless advice or complete misinformation by doctors or psychiatrists who didn't really care about them all that much, got led on detours, maybe had all this going on with other health challenges or with a bunch of professional stress or personal stress. Oftentimes when we get to the point of taking these pills, there's something going on in our lives that pushes us there. We're vulnerable. And then we get these suggestions from the system. And after a while, some of these suggestions can take us down a path that just isn't how we want to be living. And that's what happened for me. You know, to recap my story, I was put on Paxil and SSRI and Xanax, a benzo medication, way back in 1999. Heading into my senior year of college, I was experiencing panic attacks. Didn't understand what I was experiencing. I was just super scared of what I was experiencing and anxious about it. So I was worried about the panic attacks in between the panic attacks. So I was anxious all the time, and I was ready to drop out of university at UW-Madison. But instead of dropping out, some family members suggested, hey, why don't you go see this family doctor while you're home on summer break? And lo and behold, the family doctor said, why don't you try this Paxil? And for acute anxiety, this benzo, Xanax. I wasn't too thrilled, especially about the prospect of taking an antidepressant every day, but I kind of talked myself into it. And lo and behold, I stayed on that path of taking the medications without really questioning it too much for over a dozen years. You know, I think deep down I always wanted to get off the meds. I never really believed they should be a part of my life or a part of my fabric. But as many of you might know, you kind of have to convince yourself it's the right thing to do if you're going to do it. Or maybe other people try to convince you of that. But after a while, maybe things are pointing to the fact that things aren't getting fixed the way I thought they would. And that was the case for me. It's not that I had a bad life during those years. I had a marriage and a family and a lot of fun times and a career. But after a while, I was experiencing different things physically, emotionally, mentally that just were off. I had put on a lot of weight. I couldn't consistently stay in shape. I couldn't really follow through on goals the way I wanted to. My emotions were all over the place. I was depressed a lot of the time. My anxiety, which I had, remember, initially gotten on the meds to improve, kept getting worse and worse and worse. And a Xanax prescription that had started at 0.25 milligrams as needed had ballooned up to 4 milligrams per day. And I was oftentimes taking more. I was super dependent on these things. And again, a lot of things just kind of going in the wrong direction with regards to how I was feeling on a day-to-day basis. And I had family members kind of nudging me in a different direction about maybe trying to get off the meds, but I was also deep down ready to do it too. And I was really committed to it. So I got off the Paxil rather quickly, and it was immediately slammed by withdrawal, physical sickness, flu-like symptoms, night sweats, night terrors, insomnia, digestive issues, a lot of anhedonia, deep depression, dread and fear. Many of you know these things. However, I was super committed to getting off the meds. At the same time, I was tapering the Xanax. That brought its own symptoms. A lot of nerve pain, super high anxiety, a lot of disturbing thoughts and fear-based thoughts, and a lot of being stuck in one's own head. And you guys, some of you probably know about that stuff too. But I stuck with it, got off the meds, and stuck with the idea of caring for myself. And other people reinforced that idea that if you stick with this, you'll get better. And I believed in that, and I did, again, stay committed to it, and things did get better. And I believe they will for others too, if you stay patient with yourself and encouraging with yourself. But back to the reason a person is willing to go through some of these things in the first place is the idea of a better life. That's ultimately what everyone wants who's watching this video. You're looking here because, yeah, maybe you want some reassurance or some coping, but ultimately you want to know that there's something called a better life out there for you, because maybe things haven't been so great on these medications. I talk to a lot of people in coaching who've just been put through the ringer by a system that doesn't really care about them. Thoughtlessly put on medications that cause problems, and yanked off medications, then put on other medications, and on it goes. And maybe there's personal stuff going on all throughout the same time. So you got the complications of the meds, and then you don't really know how to handle stress, and your mind's all over the place, and your emotions are unstable. And after a while, maybe you don't have a lot of energy, and you just feel ready to give up. That's the point I was at. But instead of giving up, I urge people just to take another step in a different direction, okay, towards a better life. And another way that I think getting off these pills leads to a better life, even besides just maybe having more energy, being able to finally get anxiety under control or depression, being more engaged with people or connected spiritually. Those are all benefits in my mind of getting off pills that are realized over time. But there's other benefits, like not being subject to the whimsy of doctors and their opinion of what you ought to do, right? Because ultimately some of these doctors, they just don't care that much. Doctors, psychiatrists, not all of them. There's some good ones out there, but there's a lot that just don't know you that well, maybe don't care that much, and they certainly haven't taken the time to look at the wholeness of your wellness picture and what you really need as an individual to fulfill your dreams, find satisfaction on a daily basis, care for yourself, get to know yourself better. You know these things. Your family knows these things. So those are the benefits of moving towards a better life. You don't have to be dependent on the idea of some stranger to tell you what you need to do, or living that life of waiting for refills, or forcing yourself to take the dose at night, or living, especially for those of you out there on benzos, living with that idea that you can't do anything without one of those benzos. And I know not everyone's at that point. My case was perhaps a little extreme. I was taking them from morning till night for everything from going to work, to church, to family functions, to driving, to anything. If I was doing it, I felt I needed a benzo to do it. And if I forgot the benzos, I was turning the car around and going back home and getting that bottle. There's freedom with getting off those things. It's a better way of living. Doesn't mean that life is perfect. I'm going to be the first to tell you that getting off medications does not mean life is perfect. You're still going to be a human being. There's still going to be times of anxiety or stress or illness, but you are going to be better prepared to handle these things when they come up. You're going to be more resilient. You're going to be able to learn skills and tips and techniques for caring for yourself and managing anxiety and stress and actually continue to practice these things, it seems like sometimes these meds get in the way of absorbing any of these things, right? So it doesn't mean things are perfect getting off. It means things are better. And that's really what I'd like to kind of hammer home in this video today. Because ultimately, a lot of people I talk to in coaching, if I say, why did you decide to start reducing meds, or why are you even thinking about it? So, well, I just want a better way of living, a better life. And that's what I wanted too. And I believe that's what I found off the meds. So for any of you out there who are maybe even just considering a taper, or already engaged in a taper process, or maybe you're already finished and you're totally off the meds and just trying to find that motivation to keep going and caring for yourself, I urge you to just focus on that idea that what you're doing is leading you to a better life with more time. And if you take care of yourself, you will get there. Again, don't be a perfectionist with yourself. You might have some bad days. You might have some stress in life. You might have some anxiety. You might have a day you'd just like to forget because, it seemed like, hey, that one was so bad. Have a short memory for that stuff. Focus on the bigger picture. Don't get caught up in those little bumps in the road. The bigger picture, if you just continue with that taper or continue to stay off the meds and care for yourself and do a little work on yourself, the big picture is your life getting better. And you'll get there. So I hope that this has encouraged you. I hope that this offers you evidence that there's another side to this whole thing. And I hope that you'll visit lovelygrind.com, check out my blog posts, because I enjoy writing those, and I hope you'll enjoy reading those as well. So thanks for checking out this video. My name is Michael Priebe. Again, website's lovelygrind.com. Please click thumbs up if you like the video, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and hit the notification bell so you'll get notification every time I release a new video. Feel free to contact me about coaching through my website. And until next time, please remember to take care of yourself and your dreams.